A warm welcome back to the Forensic Detailing channel, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Do not forget to subscribe. So my list of jobs on the 996 is virtually done. What have I got there? I've got to refit the back box. I've got to get some keys coded, and I'm going to update the brake fluid, and that's about it. And then it's like project kind of complete. However, yesterday I went to Goodwood to meet up with all the Porsche chaps, and Dan's Timeless Classics was there, and he had a look at my car, and he was like, as soon as I pulled up, he was like, your car's got water inside it. And I thought, no, it's fine. But he was right. There is water inside it. And these 996s are prone to water leaks, okay? And that was one of the reasons why I put the carbon fibre roof on, because I thought the sunroof was leaking. I'm pretty sure it was. Let's just close this gate. But so the first thing is if the inside's all like full of if you get into your car and the inside's full of like condensation and stuff, it can mean that the water's getting in. Yeah. So in a non-sunroof car, the first thing you want to do is identify if it's in the driver's side or passenger side. So if I get my hand in there, in that gap, get right underneath, right under there, get under it. I'm under it now. Now I can feel with my fingers that that's wet. You probably can't see, but there's just it's wet. It's moisture. It's wet. Okay, so and if I do the same test over there, let's just do it. Let's just do this. Get my hands dry. It's a bit dirty in here. Yeah, that's dry. So it's dry on the passenger side, damp on the driver's. Sorry about the sniffing. It's freezing cold now. Now the next thing I want to do is check, because I don't think there's any water getting in the back of the car. It could be coming through, getting down into the door cards, and then you check your bottom of your door card all along here, and it's all bone dry. So I don't think it's coming in through the doors. The next thing is if you get your hand under there, get behind this carpet. It feels a bit wet. Not really wet, but just damp. So over on this side, you've got this cheapo polystyrene thing that's got to come off. We'll take that. Might as well take that off now while you're here. Please, that's just a normal screwdriver. Yeah. Hold on. Get in there, you little swan. That bolt's rusty. That's not a good sign. So that's torque. Always runs out of torque. See what straight away. One bolt corroded, one bolt not corroded. Mind you, this is dry. This is dry. Is that part of the aircon? Just worried why that bolt's corroded. Somewhere around here, I think it's over here, is a pipe for the aircon. Bloody carpet, let's get us out of the way. Get that. So I've got, careful, that's got little washers on the underside. So let's put those, oh nice, just dropped a bolt. Put those over here. Sorry, got to find the bolt I've just dropped. Where's that gone? Oh, it's in here. Hold on a second. I know you got boring view there for a second. Right. So now we've got all our stuff out of the way. I'm trying to find the aircon pipe. I can't see it. So I'm just going to put this down. If I can feel it anywhere. It's got to be that. There's a big thick pipe over here. Oh, that could be a wiring loom, but that feels like a big pipe. So I need to get all this carpet out of the way. And that does not feel like it wants to easily slide out. I'll just get my head under here. Oh no, it is a wiring loom. So where the hell is the aircon pipe? Oh, I'm going to need to go and do some Googling. Oh, it might be over here. Right. I'm going to go, oh, it must be this here. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry. There's a drain pipe there. So maybe it's this. So, sorry. I'll just move the camera position so you can see what I'm seeing. That. Oh, it's got a cable tie on it. It's like there's a bit of moisture on there, but it's not dripping. But the fact there's a oh, that feels a bit loose to me. That feels a bit loose. And there's a cable tie on there, and that cable tie's got no grip whatsoever. So let's just turn the aircon on. Look, that's always a good sign someone's been in here. The cable tie there on that, and that there's no pressure on that cable tie. I'm pretty sure I can pull that pipe off, so I'm going to start the car and fire up the aircon. Hold on. See, there's definitely some moisture, but if that was dripping, oh, but it could run on the top of that polish. Oh, I bet you it's running. Yeah, I bet you the fact that one of those is rotten, I bet you the water's been just dripping onto here, running down the back of this, and then getting behind this, which feels wet to me. That could be the problem, I think. I wonder if the Jubilee clip's going to be the best way for that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this running for a bit, just inspect that pipe there, and just do some Googling, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay guys, I'm back. I've just been chatting to Dan. Like, we were just checking to make sure there was nothing in the bulkhead putting water through, and this all looked good to me. Like, it all looked good, all dry, all draining properly. This is soaking, right? And this is soaking. And going back to what our little clues were, one area here completely rotten, one bolt good. And I'm looking around and I've got the aircon on, I'm trying to see if it'll eventually drip out of here, because I'm convinced this is what's leaking. And we're starting to think that we need to rip all the carpet out and follow this pipe. But the obvious thing is it's soaking right here, yeah? And as I'm sitting here buggering around, something flashed past my eye that I thought was a drop. And then the answer is fucking staring at us. It's fucking staring at us. And it goes back to bodgery. Everything's bodgery. Look at this. Here's the answer. This is what's gone wrong. Someone, can you see there? That's the, so the screw should go into that hole. The screw, someone's screwed, missed the hole twice and screwed through, and I think ruptured this tank. That is the problem. That has got to be the problem. Look at that. So if I can just, oh, okay. I need my, oh, you bugger. Hold on. Oh, hold on. If I get this in there so you can actually see what's going on. Oh, you, my body is contorted. This, yeah, it's dripping out of there. Yeah, it's dripping out of there. That's the hole. Oh, Jesus. So someone's bodged it. What is involved? Oh, you're never going to seal that up. If you try and wedge epoxy resin in there, possibly. But I don't, or silicone, but I don't think you're going to get it sealed. I think the water will find its way out. Yeah. Just wanna... I've seen it drip from there. That's what it is. There's no doubt about it, from where the water leak is. So someone's actually been looking for this problem and cable tied that in, and not realised there could be, that could predate that problem though. They could have caused that by looking for that. Maybe there was a problem with that back in the day. I don't want to touch that. All I'm going to do with that is leave that. Actually, I'll do a proper plastic Jubilee or some other better thing than that cable tie, because there's no pressure on that. I need to, well, at least I can nick one of these out of Dan's. But what's involved in getting that? If that's a dashboard out, I will go mad, because that's going to be a major pain in the arse. So now I need to go and research it. Hold on. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, fuck. Fucking bastards. Fuck's sake. Yeah, it's so wet here. That is just spreading everywhere, and it's getting under here. That's how it's making it to the back. That is so wet. It's coming out those bloody holes. So it's another. So I don't need that. Right, let's go back in the garage a second. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just indulge me a good moan. Just indulge me, because since day one of getting this car, every problem, the amount of things that are just caused by things being done wrong was unreal. I can see why you would want to buy a completely unmolested, unmodified car, because, yeah, that, someone's just screwed into that and punctured the tank. That's the problem. That must be a common thing. Is any form of silicone that I chuck in there, it's going to be wet. At some point, it's going to be wet. I could fill it up with that gasket sealant and it will do a job. Tiger Seal. If I put Tiger Seal in it, for the time being, it's going to help it. There's a chance it might fix it. There's a chance if you fill that up with Tiger Seal, just like squirt loads of Tiger Seal in there and just leave the car. Don't run the car. Let that Tiger Seal go off. Problem is the Tiger Seal, what's going to happen is if you squirt that Tiger Seal, or Tiger Seal I think would be probably ideal. I'm just thinking if that's the right type of sealant. Any sealant you squirt up through the hole is going to come up out the top of that hole like a little column of lava, and then just like eventually fall over and then set. There's always going to be a gap around it. The water's going to get in there. Is that water going to slowly pass through that sealant? It might not do. It might not do. It's easy enough to check over time. That might be the fix for the time being. Is that gasket sealant that I've got? Might be. Well, I mean, I've got this stuff. If I use this epoxy resin, Jesus. But that epoxy resin isn't a flexible resin, so that's not the right stuff to use, is it? That goes like a block of marble, which is not what we want. And it's not going to be like a waterproofing seal. Whereas this Permatex gasket sealant, I mean, silicone sealant would probably do it. But this sealant, I think, might be a good shout as well. That is going to be a waterproof sealant. Tiger Seal might be better. I don't want to crack open a whole thing of Tiger Seal. But really you get one shot. This is a good size to get this in there and inject it in. Tiger Seal, you're going to be on one of those giant guns trying to gun it. I think this might be the best bet. What do you think? Just having a look at this. What this sealant goes like rubber, but it goes a bit like snotty. It goes a bit like snotty rubber. This is what I used to do the gaskets with. No, I think that's going to be your best bet. Yeah, it's going to be your best bet. Just want to see what that goes like when that cures. That'll go like a bouncy, bally, slobbery, tough rubber. Yeah, that's probably your best bet. Someone will tell me otherwise in the comments. There may be like a bathroom sealant might be better. Like a silicone bathroom sealant. Psychoflex or something, I don't know. That's heavy duty as well. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it bizarre though, guys? It's often simple. So there's me looking around, hunting around, and it's the place where it was most obvious, where all the water was, and the water, it's obvious now actually. My little brain, just everything's obvious once you know what it is. That's what it is. That what it is. And it's the thing that's obvious is the water was on top of the carpet. So that fact that the water's on top of the carpet almost rules out any bulkhead leak, any even a leak from the if there was a sunroof there, wouldn't be on the top of that. This car's always been wet, they're everywhere. Like before I did the sunroof, I'm sure the driver's side, behind the driver's side was wet. Everything was wet. We call it the Excalibur car. And now the driver's side is dry, and it's not, the roof is sealed, yeah. So, but probably the major contribution of why this has always been leaking and always been really wet is that aircon, not rain. I always thought it was to do with rain. When it rained, it was filling up. It's been running the aircon. Yeah, so basically all that dirty aircon water, it's just been running out of that reservoir straight into my footwell. Ding, 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 ding. At least to know what it is. If that dashboard has to come out to fix that, that's a right pain in the thing. If I take that dashboard out, I'm gonna that airbag's coming out. in there, because that saves me some weighties. You can see I'm thinking racy. Getting that dashboard out of that car, taking dashboards out is a major pain. It's just so many bits to get to. Steering wheel, it's horrible. Doing a dashboard is almost worse than cutting that roof off. I think I'd rather cut the roof off than take the dashboard out. That's a major pain. Oh, and your car's never right. When you take a dashboard out and put it back in, the amount of rattles you get afterwards, it's never quite right. Yeah, I'm going in with the silicone. Okay, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. The problem is, by the time you've let me know what you think, I would have probably charged in there and tried to fix it. I can't really do any harm trying to fix it with sealant, really, can I? I can always, if it doesn't seal, which is highly likely, I can always just poke it all back out again with a little thin wire. Poke it all out, get it open again. And I'm in the same boat. I've got a hole there. So yeah, video done. That's ruined my weekend, that is. Because that is a fundamentally simple fault. Jesus. You would think that they could have designed that a little bit better, so you don't have a tap-in screw. You know, even if it was a bolt, so that if you're not misaligned, you just don't screw into the thing. I bet it should be a bolt and someone's put the wrong thing in there. But there, that seems a bit of a, didn't think that one through. If those are the correct screws and they're tap-in screws, and if you miss them, you go through into the tank. Yeah, that's a bit daft. Why not just, it's a bit of polystyrene, why not just a little push fit thing, so you're not screwing a tap-in screw into a plastic tank? Could have designed that better. Apologies if it was. Right, I'm out. God damn it. Okay, I'm back. I was never going to leave it there. I've been thinking about fixing this, and I think to replace that evaporator collector plastic bastard, whatever it is, looking at it, I think you got to have the dash out. Yeah, I think you got to have the dash out. Which no. So I was thinking, just get the gasket sealant and like cram it in there and do your best. But that's not going to do. Water will find its way out, I think. And so now I'm thinking you've got to bung it in. You know, you need a bit of rubber or something to bung it in with some gasket sealant. Then suddenly I had a brainwave. What? Because the reason this is actually gushing out, I think, is because there's probably two holes. Because if it was just leaking, because the original hole probably isn't leaking, there must be a collar going into there that's high up. Where it's gone through, it's going to be thinner plastic. So that's the original hole. It's definitely leaking because that's all corroded. If I cover these two screws in gasket sealant and do the old bunged it in, then those, they look like the same, they look like exactly the same thread fitment, slightly smaller, which is actually good because this is going to need to be a little bit longer. I could bunged it in with these, and that should seal if it's all covered in gasket sealant. The only problem I'm thinking is those two holes are quite close together, and these two screws are going to possibly butt up against each other. So I'd almost need to trim the head shells off of those, which won't be easy to do, so that they're just threads almost, and with just the little cross left on it that I can get a screwdriver on. That's going to be a real pain to grind those off. I'll see if I can avoid that. The thing is, I don't need these screws to go all the way up and like poke, because they'll go through that plastic and then they'll come up on the other side of the plastic and poke all the way through. As long as I get them in a little bit, so that the main bit of that plastic, and I would imagine we're talking like 3 or 4 mils of plastic, as long as they poke up at all and there's loads of sealant on them, then these should still bung it in and seal it. So if I do the old bunged it in now, let the gasket sealant go off, put it all back together again, put the cover back on and make sure you get that, don't put a third hole in it, make sure that goes in the right hole. But what I'll do is I'll sandwich a microfiber cloth over, I'll screw through the microfiber cloth and leave a microfiber cloth in there. And then in a month's time, if that microfiber cloth is bone dry, then it isn't leaking. If that microfiber cloth is wet or damp, maybe damp is the possibility, then it's these other screws that are in here are, it's still passing water. And then I was suddenly thinking, well, it's only going to ever pass a little bit of water because this screw would be blocking it, you know, a little bit. So it just passed slowly. Where this screw was in the wrong hole, it'd be passed through slowly. But of course, there's two bloody holes. So it's probably been drilled incorrectly twice. And that's why there's loads of water there. So when you take it on a long drive and you're taking lots of moisture out and it would all go in that tank and drain out, it's all draining into the footwell. And then I was racking my brains thinking, well, have I actually done this? And the answer is very unlikely, because I've had that cap off years ago, a couple of years ago, when I bought the car, to replace the cover. It was Alcantara, if you remember. And I remember one of them was rusty at the time. And I looked at it and thought, why is that rusty? And the fact that there's that cable tie in there means that someone before me went in there to try and fix a leak. So yes, it was going through my head that maybe I'd caused this problem, but no, it predates me, this one, which gives me immense satisfaction. Because it could have been me that done it. No, I wouldn't have done. I don't think I would have done that. It is vaguely possible, but it's too, yeah, it was definitely corroded, that bolt, before, and someone's been in there before. So this is not my doing. It's very important to me, that is. Blame culture. So I'm going to now go and do the bunged it in. I'll come back. Okay, chaps, it is done. I know a lot of you watch this and you're in awe of my technical genius. And once again, I've come in and failed where others have succeeded and repaired the problem. Let me show you what I've done. And you can tell me if you think I've got a chance here. I might have a chance. I might have a chance. Have I got the torch here? Yeah. So I've done the best I can, and I've put the two screws in. You see what I mean? I couldn't be bothered to try and grind the head off those, because of my logic was, as long as it goes in there and goes through, then it doesn't really need to mount all the way in. It's just to bung it. It's just to bung it in. So lots of silicone poked in there first, lots of silicone overload on the all over the thread, and then screw it in and hope that it seals on the thread, really. And it felt like it went in. I wasn't like ripping a new thread. It just went in on the existing, thread. So for it to seal, I got a feeling there's a good chance that will seal it. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, guys? It doesn't matter about that gap, like I'm saying, between it doesn't have to be done in tight in my head. I do have to be able to access. I have to be careful when I'm putting this back in. Any mechanic that's ever working on this car and sees this, they'll be like, what the hell? And then they'll figure out exactly what's happened. So as long as I can get that one in, and I can, yeah. So as long as I can get that original screw back in the place it should be, and obviously it's not going to leak out there because that will have a collar that goes higher up. Thick as that, yeah. So yeah, I think I fixed it. Time will tell. So we'll sandwich a donut of microfiber around that, and then put everything back in and see how we get on. Okay, so I'll just show you the final bit. All going back together again. There it is, it's all poked through with the microfiber cloth, like I was saying. So if I just put that there, you can just see me install it. So this should be the end of my leaking woes. I need to be careful. I need to make sure when I go in, so I need to be very careful whenever I go back here now. Make sure I've tightened up that that seal at the back, which I don't think was ever even leaking. That was just the red herring. It's a bit fiddly. All this, that's got to tuck under there. Let's just get it in position first. Well, it's going to be a bit fiddly. And of course, I just knocked my torch. Right, I don't want to put a third hole in it. I'm back in the hole. Now, if I just tighten that up. Yeah, we're in the hole. That's good. And then we do our other one. To be very careful when putting this back in. It's good. Probably, I doubt I'm the only person to ever experience this one. This is it. You can't do it on that side because it's too difficult. It's too raised, the bit you go in on. And I don't think you'll pierce a tank on that side. So you're only ever going to do this over there. I bet this is a more common problem than I should have really figured this out quicker. So that's all back in. It doesn't need to be rock tight, but let's just get it in. And I'll be coming back in 1 month to inspect that. That's all back. So yeah, you would never know I was there. And anyone that works on that in future, when they take that off, they'll see what's in there. They might think that's a bit of a bodge, but it's a decent bodge. It's a decent bodge because I'll just leave that loose so that we can get some air on that. You know, sometimes a bodge is needed because the amount of work to fix that, taking a dashboard out, man, I don't fancy doing that. And then you've got to take that whole system apart, and then you'll find all other things that are all broken. So in theory, if those things have gone in and the gasket sealant bites, that should seal it. That should seal it, shouldn't it? Because the thread is gonna, it matches, it's the same thread size, so it's gonna go into the cut that's in there, and hopefully all of that abundance of sealant's gonna, and the sealant I put in, it's gonna pull through, and that sealant will go off and it will bite around that thread, and it's got quite a lot of thread to travel down, so hopefully the water won't get through there. Please. And if that doesn't leak, that's a result, it's fixed. And that should be the end to my water woes. So there's something to check. Why do I think this is going to come back later on? It's going to come. If it leaks, basically, then what I'm going to do is it won't leak as bad because it would have been one completely unblocked hole before. That's why there was so much. If it does leak, it's not going to be quite as bad. So I'll live with it and I'll wait for summer next year and I'll have that dashboard out and I'll take the airbag out. And Dan will be jealous because I'll be, that passenger airbag weighs a ton. I'll get that airbag out. That'll give me 5 kilos. That's half a tenth. And then I'll take that condenser out and I'll nick, what's it called? It's going to be called like, it's not an aircon condenser. It's a tank for the evaporated water, basically. And then it's supposed to sort of drain away. But I'll nick one of those off Dan because he'll have one. I bet you his have all got double screw punches in them as well. I bet this is a more common problem because of the nature of when you're putting that back in and it's awkward, you just put it in and you don't realise that you're drilling into a tank. If you knew that that was a plastic tank, you'd be extra careful about lining that up and getting that in there properly. But like I was talking about earlier on, that's not the best design to use tap-in puncturing screws to mount into a plastic tank. If they were bolts, or they're not weight bearing really, it's just a piece of polystyrene. So they should be plastic bolts or push fit. Then you will never have that problem. So to have tap-in screws there for whatever reason, I'm assuming they're the correct ones from Porsche, but if they're not and they've been replaced and they shouldn't be those, it's not Porsche's fault. But yeah, I don't see why, if they are supposed to be tap-in screws, they shouldn't be. They don't need to be, and that would avoid that problem. But there you go. So let's see what happens. I'll let you know. Follow me on Instagram, Forensic Detailing Instagram. I'll do a little shot of that coming off after a long drive with the aircon on. We'll see what happens. Okay, is it today? Is that a win or is that a lose? I don't know. Maybe it's neither. I'll go with a win.